Hi everybody, Tom Oates in the Wisconsin State Journal and madison.com here, and it appears that hiring Gard is a very easy call at the University of Wisconsin. He's certainly made a great case for himself. But here's a much tougher call. Who's the coach of the year in the Big Ten Conference? Lately, it's come down to basically a two-man race. I know Badger fans don't want to hear this, but Tom Crean of Indiana, a coach they love to hate, is a very strong candidate. And the other candidate is Gard with what he's done with the Badgers, despite having the interim tag on his name. First of all, let's go back. At one point, this looked like a 4 or 5 man race, but you look at Mark Turgeon of Maryland, unanimous #1 pick to win the conference, and here we are in March, and the Terps are still looking for team chemistry, so he's out. Tom Izzo, always a candidate for Coach of the Year. The Spartans are playing as well as anybody in the country right now. But at one point in the Big Ten season, Michigan State was 3-4. They pretty much played their way out of it early, and they have 5 losses total. So that kind of takes him out of it. And then there's Fran McCaffrey of Iowa, who, if you took this poll 3 weeks ago, probably would have won it. But the Iowa's just gone into a complete tailspin since then, fallen out of everything in terms of contention. The Hawkeyes have basically played Fran McCaffrey out of the equation. Now let's look at Crean and Gard. I think you have to look at Tom Crean. Indiana is going to be the outright champion of the Big Ten Conference. That's in a very crowded field. That's quite an accomplishment. But he also overcame some problems. The Hoosiers didn't look very good early. They went to Maui and lost to Wake Forest and UNLV. Then they came back and lost a 20-point game to Duke, dropped out of the top 25. Didn't look very good. Then they lost James Blackman, their leading scorer, at some point in January. And even down the stretch, they lost another guy, Robert Johnson, and yet they still kept winning big games. They still, they went out and they won the title. They didn't back into any title. They won the title. They beat the teams they had to beat. One thing Crean has going for him: a driven senior point guard in Yogi Ferrell, who I think really has taken the reins of that team. Now let's look at Gard. Admit it, he took over a team in disarray. The Badgers were frustrated. They were 7-5 at the time overall. This was in mid-December. You had a coaching change. You had an interim coach. You had a lot of young players still finding their way and feeling their way after heavy graduation losses. At one point, even with Gard, after a slow Big Ten start, the Badgers were 9-9, 1-4 in the Big Ten. But to come back, win 11 out of 12 games, cinch all those things that we've come to expect, an NCAA bid, 4th place or better in the Big Ten, I think puts Gard right at the top of the pack. In fact, I'd vote for Gard, but they didn't give me a vote. So I think that Tom Crean is going to win this, but that will not diminish in any way the job Gard has done with the Badgers.